G'day guys, and welcome to another Sore Losers product check. This one I'm stoked to be doing because I've been waiting for this particular product to come out for a while. We're talking about the ACE AF1 80 Hollow, which is a 10-inch axle truck. So like your Indy 215, I guess, is probably about the same. I don't know. But today we're talking about ACE, and without any further ado, let's jump right into it and have a look at them as they come. So we'll switch to this camera. These are them right here. They come, well, I've been presented with them in this plastic packaging, which has on the exterior 80 being the size of truck. ACE's size of truck, that's how they brand things, whether it be 44, 55, 66, I think they do a 60. And it says ACE there, it says AF1, it says hollow, so you know exactly what you're getting if you do get them in this packaging, which I imagine if you're buying from a skate shop, you probably won't. They'll be under the counter just as they are, but there are ways to tell your AF1 80 hollow, it's a lot to say, from your ACE AF1 80 non-hollow. So let's get into it. Check it out. I can do a magic trick now. All right, here we go. Ready? There it is. Look at that. I'm going to do it with this one too. Okay, wasn't sure that was going to work, but I'm stoked it did. So these are the guys here. And as I mentioned, here's another way you can tell what you're getting. It says 80 there, and on the axle itself, it will tell you, I don't even know if you can see that, that is a 10-inch axle. So the AF1, I'm not sure if it is across the board on the AF1, sorry. All the axles will tell you in inches the width of the axle. So, for example, if you're riding a 9-inch board, then I don't even know which truck, but ACE have a very handy size chart if you are wondering what are the right trucks for you if you are ordering online. Myself personally, I like going into the skate shop. I've always been about the skate shop. I pretty much grew up in one, so yeah, I really enjoy being in there. Another way to tell these from your AF1 non-hollow 80s or any hollows from the non-hollow in the AF1 is the color of your rethreading tool, which they come with. The hollows will have a gold, the standards have a red. So that's another handy way. But as you can see, hollow axle, hollow kingpin, and yeah, I mean, they look like the AF1s. Let's get into the reasoning for myself wanting to try the 80 in a hollow. Now, one of the reasons is the weight. Bringing the weight down on such a wide truck was really important to me because obviously I'm riding a very wide board to justify riding a 10-inch wide axle truck. So, weight being one of them. Let's get into the weight. The AF1 Hollow 80 is 410 grams compared to the AF1 80, that's non-hollow, which is 434 grams. Now, that 24 gram difference doesn't sound like a lot, but that's each truck. So it's almost 50 grams for both your trucks. And when you are riding a board that wide, I find it important to bring the weight down as much as possible so you just don't have dead legs at the end of the day. If you're like me, you're in your 50s, you're approaching 50, anywhere around there, you find yourself tiring out faster. So that was one reason, just to get a lighter board. And then also, I wanted the symmetry to be better with my skateboard. Basically, I'm riding the 77s at the moment, and they're a 9.5 axle. Now I'm riding those on a 10-inch wide board. It's a 10-inch wide popsicle, so it's 10 inches across the board at its widest point, which starts just after the nose and just after the tail, of course. So I wanted a board that the axles came to the width of the board, as opposed to having them tucked under a little bit. I have a problem with axle sticking out. I don't want to be able to see my axle, but I don't want it to feel like my wheels are tucked too far under. So that's another reason for myself personally wanting to try this product. Like I said, I've been riding the 77s for a while, and I found them to be probably the best wearing truck I have ever skated in 40 odd years. So actually, let's have a look. I've got my board here, so give me 2 secs. So this is the board I am currently riding with the AF1s. With the AF1 77s, I should say. And look, to give you an idea of how much wear they have had, you can see they are worn down. I do feebles, hurricanes, some front feebles occasionally. I could go into showing you the front truck, but that's not important. You can tell from the back truck how much wear there is, where it's worn. This is from board slides at a particular spot, which is very hard on your whatever that bit of your hanger is called. And obviously a bit of kingpin wear, nut wear, so on and so forth. Now, this is over the course of 18 months. You know what? Like, I gotta say this. This is a personal thing. I don't like seeing product reviews that say this is this product after 12 months or after 6 months or after a month. So let's do it this way, because this is more accurate. It'll give you a better idea. So 18 months is 72 weeks. Now I generally skate 2 days a week because, I'm middle-aged and I have a full-time job, which is demanding on my body. And so anyway, weekends, my time, most of the time. And then I skate about 2 hours a day. So I've done the math on it. It's 288 hours. And then if you want to take it even further, I'd say the type of skating I'm doing, which is curb skating, I will be, pushing at a curb, then I'll be grinding. Probably 90% of the time I'll be pushing as opposed to 10% of the time on the curb. So if you take 10% away from that 288 hours, you are left with 28.8 hours of grinding. And I know that's like a lot to... Anyway, I've done the math. It's about 28 hours of grinding. And look, let's throw a clip in and you can see what kind of grinding and so on that these trucks have been through in the last 18 months, which is, as we now know, 288 hours of skating and 28 hours of grinding. So from that clip, you can probably tell that these trucks have been through a little bit. And that's the wear. I mean, they're still perfectly good. I will say, without a doubt, that these have the potential of going another 100% of what they have gone. So another 288 hours underfoot, maybe even longer, maybe 500 more hours of practical skating on them. So yeah, I mean, they do wear really well, the AF1 trucks. Now, I rode the standards before these and I was stoked on those, but when I tried the AF1s, I was really stoked. Everything seemed to be just pumped up. Like the little details in it, there's differences in the base plates. Yeah, I mean, ACE say here, the AF1 is the strongest, longest lasting cast truck on Earth. So they're putting that out there, and I believe them. I mean, I've ridden them for a while, but we're not talking about the 77s in the AF1 today. We are talking about these guys. So, basically, this is the first look. I just like these trucks. I'm very familiar with them, obviously. I've ridden ACE trucks for a long time. I am looking forward to putting them. I am going to put them on this board. I was going to switch over boards and switch over wheels as well, but I thought it only fair to do a test for a wider truck to use exactly the same board I have been riding for a little while and the same wheels, so the same wheel shape, so I can give an accurate side-by-side test from the 77s to the 80s. I did want to touch on this actually. So the AF1 77s that I'm riding, their weight per truck is 427 grams. Now I told you like the 80s in the hollows are 410 grams. So it's still a 17 gram lighter on the 80s side than it is for the 77s, and that's on a larger truck. So I am looking forward to experiencing that as well. And, you know, we'll come back in a little while and I'll give you an actual rider review on them and let you know how they go for slappies, if there's any difference in having that wider truck. Because one thing I was thinking about was there was the potential on some lower curbs for, if you're in a feeble grind, for example, for the wheel under your toe to be in contact with the road surface while you're grinding. So I want to see if that actually happens, but I think there is potential for it because I've watched some clips of myself up close. Sometimes it's a very small gap, and I'll try and find one of those and put it up. Let's put it up here, or maybe here. And you'll see what I mean. That there's a very small gap between making contact with the road and clearing it. So it is purely a grind and you're not rolling along. So that's something I am interested in seeing as well. I should mention that these come, the AF1s across the board, not just the hollows, come with upgraded bushings from your regular or the classic ACE bushings, which come in at a top bushing of 91A and a bottom bushing of 86A. Now, normally I switch out bushings to ride the PAL, the Bones bushings, and I've had problems with the Bones bushings. The top bushing especially seems to blow out like nothing else on the ACE. And I've tried to combat it by getting the sizes through using washers so that there isn't a size difference between what comes with the ACE trucks and the Bones bushing on there. They still blow out. And a lot of it is because I do wear down this portion of the truck, this portion here, and it becomes sharp and it bites into that top bushing when it is compressed. So a lot of it is from that, but from speaking to other people, they've blown out bushings and they don't actually have that problem. So while we're on the subject of bushings, while I'm looking at these trucks and not at you guys, apologies. Normally I would switch out the ACE bushings for Bones bushings. I've done it for a long time. It started with when I used to ride Indy trucks. I'd switch out the bushings with Bones bushings, and I never really stopped doing it with ACE. I occasionally, once a Bones bushing blows out, I will replace it with the original ACE bushing that the truck came with. I have a big bag of them because I have been switching out bushings for so long. So here's something that's kind of exciting. If you're a fan of ACE products, which I don't know, or maybe you're just like watching this because you're thinking about changing over, I have a special announcement. I don't know how special it is. I don't know if it's an exclusive or not. But instead of going with these, which I normally would, I'm just going to do that. And I'm going to go with these guys here, which I've been presented with by AHA from Trinity Distribution and Trapdoor Distribution, which I really thank you guys so much for just supplying me with this alone and giving me a discount on these trucks. Like, so good of you. Now, these are an up-and-coming product from ACE. They are ACE's bushings, very similar to the Bones bushings. These are the hard. I wanted to ride the hard because generally I have to, with the medium bushing, I have to tighten down on the back truck, which leaves a good amount of the kingpin exposed. And I always use an angle grinder to cut off whatever's left. Now, I figured if I was using a hard bushing instead of the Bone Soft, I would be able to get away with tightening down less. And I'm especially excited because these are an up-and-coming ACE product. They're not out yet. I really have to stress that. So please don't hassle your local skate store too much about like, why don't you stock them or anything like that? Because, yeah. Anyway, back to these. So I'm excited about this product when it actually comes out. I don't have the specs on it, but I assume if they're a hard, ACE's other hard bushings are in, what are they? I think they're a 96. I could be wrong. Both of them are a 96, I think. I know Bones' hard bushings, both of them are 96A, and their mediums, both of them are 91. And like I mentioned before, the bushings that come with the AF1s, the top bushing is a 91 and an 86A, which puts them in the spectrum of, that's where ACE do their medium bushing that you can buy separately, that you can get separately. And they're I'm sorry, I don't have the specs on the hard bushing. Actually, I can look that up. I've got this page open in front of me, and their bushings are here somewhere. Bear with me. 94A. So I would assume that these are a 94A as well. But I am excited about trying those on. And the thing I'm most excited about is they are the ACE. They are the shape of the ACE bushings that come standard with their trucks. So I won't have the problems I have had in the past of trying to match up the size difference, especially in that bottom bushing. Really looking forward to trying those. Thank you again to AHA, Trinity Distribution, and Trapdoor. So, yeah, in conclusion, that's them unpackaged. I will be back to let you know how they go in another episode. Thanks for tuning in. Damo, Saw Lizard Show, out.